Now, there was a time in my career whereby I was facing a glass ceiling and I was really gunning for a very senior position, but I just didn't think, I guess in myself, it was about not believing in myself.
Yeah.
But you came and delivered a talk at a Women's Network conference and gave some vital tips to me. Can you share with the viewers at home some of these tips, please?
Yeah, I think primarily just have the belief in yourself. So really understand what your own key strengths are, what your core skills are, and get comfortable with those. So I think that we sometimes have voices in our heads that tell us that we can't do things. So I think ignore those voices, have your own self-belief, and have a really good awareness of what your strengths are. I think when you've kind of looked at your strengths, we all have areas of development that we can look at. But I think, again, as women, we tend to see those as weaknesses as opposed to maybe development opportunities. And I think it's important, whether we are looking for internal progression or external progression, to identify that we have those development areas, but then look for opportunities to be able to take those forwards. And then I think finally it's just the confidence. I've probably come back to confidence quite a lot as we go through the talk today, but just have confidence and self-belief in yourself, and believe that you can go for it.
And then just go for it.
Absolutely, just go for it.
Also, the statistics say it's common amongst women.
Yes.
But do you think this is an issue that men also face in terms of a glass ceiling?
I think for some, absolutely. And I think probably over the last few years, as more and more women, we've started to talk about much more equality in the workplace. And I think some men are actually finding that a struggle in themselves anyway. But I do think the glass ceiling is common across a number of different groups. Not so much within men, but again, it is something that's there. And I think through the way in which they are able to interact with their employees and their managers, if again they've been told that they can't do something, the voices in the head will, I suppose, stick to that, and they start to believe that they can't do it. Potentially, I think maybe a little bit more difficult for men if they hit the glass ceiling. I think it has become a very common term within women, and is something that we seem to be much more comfortable talking to each other about.
Absolutely.
I think for men, they're not as comfortable talking about it. Maybe they're not even aware that they have hit that glass ceiling. And I think that's maybe something that we need to work on.